Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. My name is Vanessa Vargas on behalf of Cerenade. I want to thank you for joining this webinar. We're going to talk about efficient and time-saving tricks and shortcuts. This training is being recorded. You can always watch the video when you go to our YouTube channel. It's called Cerenade Academy. And also, we have a PowerPoint presentation that you can download if you click on handouts from the GoToWebinar panel or menu. You can download the PowerPoint with useful links. Before we start, some of the things that we're going to talk about require customization. So I was wondering if you can please vote on your screen. Tell me if you have access to the admin, or maybe you don't know what the admin because you're new. So please vote. There's a poll in progress, and I'll wait for you to participate so we can continue. Okay, if you don't have access, you can always contact your admin, but at least I want you to be aware of the options that we have as far as like customizations go. Okay, all right. Thank you so much for those who voted. The majority say yes, I'm going to continue. So what we're going to talk about today are areas of the system that you are probably aware of, but I want to talk about like those shortcuts and tricks that can save you time. All right. So this is the agenda for today, and I'm going to cover these other resources. After we are done with the webinar, we have a Q&A, so you can always ask questions, or you can also chat me throughout the webinar. Okay. All right. So let's begin. I do want to, let me switch my screen. I do want to show you not the basic steps in detail because we have a basic training for new users, but one of the things that that is related to creating a contact, it's called anonymous questionnaire. So usually the way you do it is you click manually, right? You click create, contact, but what if you have a link on your website? If you want, you can have that link on your website or create a link and send it as a bulk email. It's called anonymous questionnaire. So if you add an anonymous questionnaire, you can say, for example, initial um, initial consultation or initial, you know, let's call it initial consultation. I want this link to be associated to whoever clicks on the link. I want it to be a prospect, and I don't want it to expire. If I do want this link to expire, I just enter the date. The caseworker that's going to be assigned is going to be me. And what type of process? Well, no process. We're just going to use it for consultation. So I'm looking for the one that we have for consultation process. And I don't have a questionnaire associated to that. Let me see if I have. Give me 1 second. I'm going to use this one, initial intake form. In fact, if I want to preview it, I can click on the little pencil and see how this looks like. It's basically a questionnaire that I modified that my clients or prospects can translate to a different language, and they can see the questions like, is this the first time that you contact us? Yes, no, etc. Name. So I'm going to use that initial consultation. When they click on the link, that's all I need them to complete. Later, when they retain me, then of course I can send them all the necessary questionnaires. But for now, we'll just keep it simple. And the message template, if you haven't done this, I highly recommend that you go into your administrator portal and utilize the letter templates. Why? Because they're going to save you so much time. Um, if I, for example, want to use this, initial consultation or initial email, you can customize it so that it has exactly what you need. For example, the message can be in Spanish. Although keep in mind that if you have tags that say first name or last name, they're not going to work because you don't even have a client profile. So we can't populate the message after only until after you create it. So I recommend that you keep it more like dear applicant, or let me show you the default one. It says dear client. So you can leave it like that, dear client, here are your credentials, blah, blah, blah. Do not change the username and password, leave them as is. And you can also keep it generic, maybe instead of your name, just the name of the law firm. Once you save, it creates that link, And you can copy that link and paste it and provide it again in a bulk email, or you can use it for your website. Anyone who clicks on the link, they see your logo. If you have uploaded your logo, um, they enter their own name, last name, email, and they create their own username. So they're going to get an email with the username and password and the link. And that link, sorry, will take them to the client portal where they log in and they complete that questionnaire. So you don't have to create the account. We create the account for you. Whoever submits then is going to be created automatically as a prospect. You can also go to contacts or clients and contacts, and you can search prospect. Although technically you don't see it until you search specifically for the name or last name. But the idea is that that prospect who completes a form submits a form, and that's when you see it right here on the top right. So I suggest that you guys use the anonymous questionnaire if you don't want to create multiple contacts, especially if you have like a business client with hundreds of applicants. You don't want to create them manually. You can go ahead and use the anonymous questionnaire. Now remember, in my PowerPoint presentation, I have these links that will take you to how to create a contact, how to link the members, and how to create cases, and this one. Now, what happens when your clients are not tech savvy and you have to type the data on behalf of them? We recommend using the alternate view. The alternate view is where you can access the questionnaires. So as long as you access the questionnaire, let's say that initial intake form, then you can type the information. Now remember, if you have data in the system, then it will show up here. You don't have to start from scratch. All right, so it's just, if I need to make modifications, for example, let's say the correct date of birth is this, I fix it, I click save, I will receive this green bar notification on top, and then I can safely close this alternate view because that information has been saved. Let me dismiss that. And it updated the account. It's now fixed. So you can use the alternate view instead of sending a questionnaire or instead of using all these fields. Okay. Now, also something that's very important for you to avoid is creating duplicates. If you use the alternate view to type the relatives info, such as children, parents, spouse, or you don't have to go to members and link them again. As soon as you click save on that under that relatives questionnaire, we take care of the rest. So we create an account and you'll see them right here, like the name of the child, the name of the spouse, like parents. They have been created and linked. So that's why you may want to use the alternate view and then send them the questionnaires if they need to complete um, electronically. Then they'll see that you have at least linked the family members. Okay. Now another shortcut that I'm not sure if you guys are aware of, but when you click on select, we have a load more data button. This is where you can access quick links. So these are the shortcuts. If you want to save time and you want to go straight to the appointments for this client, it's a lot easier to use a shortcut. Again, it's called load more data. You can also use it on, let me show you. You can also use it when searching for cases. If you do the same thing, select load more data, you go straight to a form. So I can open this form right away. That's the load more data button. Now let's talk about forms features. And let me know if you have any questions, okay? So when you get to the form, one of the things that we recommend, let me close it because I want to show you. When you create a case and you get to the forms checklist right here, um, click on the name of the party or the person so that you can open another tab. One of the things that I always recommend is having multiple tabs open. As you can see, I can go straight to the admin portal. I can go to the case window or the contact window. Now, how do you know which one it is? Today I asked the question, do you know the difference between the contact and the case profile? And the answer was no. And so the difference is the contact profile has all the different, give me one second. The contact profile has all the different sections that you want to populate here, like history of, you know, oops, I clicked on the wrong one. History of employment, previous addresses. So we have that, but we don't have forms. See, you have to go to the case window so that you can see the forms. So if you want to know where in the system you're at, like what part of the system you're looking at, well, then click on here on the left. We don't have to click, sorry, I meant to say refer to this home, cases, and forms. So that means that I'm at the case profile under the forms section. If I look at this one, look, it says I'm at the from home screen. I went to the client profile and I'm looking at the previous addresses. So when calling us for support, sometimes we might need to ask you like where in the system you are at. And so that's how you can tell. All right, so now if I need to open a form, because I clicked on her name and it opened another tab, I can then go into the form. Let me see, we have a question. Hi, Vanessa. If I create more than one case, will I be able to access the client's documents for all the cases? Yes. So one of the things that we have under the contact profile is a document section. So what I recommend is adding them here because they're more like the universal generic document, passports, I-94s, visas, or any like user-defined document. For example, let's say that I have the, I'm going to say the passport. I'm going to use this passport, okay? I've got the PDF, I have all the information, and I'm going to use it for a case. I don't have to re-upload it. I'm going to click here, copy to clipboard. You get the green bar, you close this, go to the case. Sorry, I had the form open. You go to the case and then go to documents. If you need that passport, instead of re-uploading it, you're going to click select edit. And on that drop-down menu that says file location, paste it from the clipboard. So that PDF that I had already under the contact profile, it's now available here in the checklist. So I can, you know what, I clicked on the link. I should have, because now you can see this, select view. So you can view the passport or the attachment without having to download it to your computer. These folders are within the system or in the cloud. Everything is in the cloud. So your system is a cloud-based solution, which means that only until you download the attachment like I did, I clicked on it and it downloaded to my computer. You may also select all the files and then download if that's what you need. If you need all of the documents in your computer. If you use Google Drive, then this is what you need to do. Let's say the file it's in your Google Drive. You're going to click on select edit and then choose Google Drive. It will connect you to your Google Drive and then you just have to enter your credentials. Now, make sure that you have cloud storage integration with Cerenade. It's an optional module that you need. Thank you for your questions. All right, so we were saying that for forms, let's open the form. If you need to populate the form, let me add, I'm going to add another form because I've used that one earlier this morning for a training. So let me just use a brand new one. I want you to see what happens when you open the form. Some of the forms have instructions. Of course, they don't print. You have to make a decision. In this case, the I-129 for an employment-based case, it's the organization. So I want their data and the signatories information to transfer. And on page 2, we can see that it says alien info goes here. So that's why when you create a case, sometimes you have to select alien instead of beneficiary so that their data transfers right away. Make sure that you know there's a difference between typing information on a form. It's not going to transfer back to the database. It stays only on this form. If I need to kind of like undo or restore the value, you have a yellow bar on top where I can click to restore. And if I need to change something across multiple forms, let's say the date of birth, well, the recommendation is that you switch tabs and then you change it in the database so that you don't have to change it every single time. So let's say the correct date of birth was 1987 and I save it. Then I go back to the form and refresh. How do you refresh forms so that the correct data transfers? Well, there are red buttons that say select party, select. So you click that, and then you want to click on the first link because you want to replace not I'm not replacing with someone else's data. I'm replacing the old data with the new one. So I click on her name, and that way you update the information. So the correct information transfers from the database. In other words, again, if you want to save time, always go to the contact profile, enter the data here, update or save it, and then go back to the form and refresh. Let me know if you have any questions. Sorry, the question was related to what we were talking about, the documents, and the answer is no. When you use a copy to clipboard, it's not from Google Drive. It's internally in eImmigration's storage. All right, so the other thing you guys have available, it's this toolbar. You can use this square, it's called sticky notes. If you click there, you can add post-its. Please confirm. You can use your initials, and these you can customize them, add as many. You can change the color, you can change the font, the size, the location. These do not print if you don't want them to print. You can leave them inside the form, but you can print the form inside, sorry, normally without the sticky notes. The other thing you can also do is type anywhere. So today the example was on the I-485, like, instead of handwriting, you can use this keyboard. They call it free type, or we call it type anywhere. You move your mouse and you can type anywhere. You can drag and drop it and type anywhere you want. Again, attorneys sometimes use it instead of handwriting. Also keep in mind the forms have instructions. Like I said, if you don't click, we won't transfer the data. Now, speaking of data, if it exceeds, like if I type information and it exceeds the space, the limit, we create the addendum for you. All right. You may also manually change the size of the font. If you click on that A, you can change the size of the font or the type of font. But again, remember, you can safely or freely type normally and then just wait because the system will create the addendum for you. Let me see, tools, process stuff. Okay. The other thing you can also do is when you're done with the form, sorry, before I move on, there is on the last page, there is a red button again that says edit. It's kind of like the select button. So click where it says edit, and then you choose which entries you want to include, click save, and the system populates the page, part, and item numbers for you. Now, when you're done with the form, if you click on this icon that says form data edit, it looks like a magic wand. You can replace this with this. So I'm going to leave it blank. I can replace every blank space that I left with NA. I don't have to do this manually. Let me know if you have any questions about this or anything in general. We're going to move on to process steps. So I'm going to save the form. But again, if you have any questions about forms and how they auto-populate or any of the tools, let me know. So the next item on my list is process steps. Process steps are one of the features that probably is underutilized either because they don't know how to use it or because they think they need another system. And e-immigration is not just for forms. You can use e-immigration to manage your cases and get reminders, run reports, and more. So if you use the process steps, these are customizable and it helps you to know what the progress is. So when you create a case and you go to the process steps, you want to modify them because the system needs to know what's your start date. If I plan on starting next week and it's going to take me 2 days to send the documents for signature, by September 7th, I need to have, an end date, meaning I finish that. If I finish a step, I click here, complete it, or I can also enter the date. So let's say Vanessa, file LCA on August 29th. So that's how you can run a report to know who did what date, and also if I need to do something and I don't want to forget, let's say on September 7th, Vanessa has to send the documents for signature. I'm going to click this box so that the system can send an email to Vanessa on September 7th, so to remind her about this task. Okay? If you have something that's overdue, for example, let's say file case with Service Center, it will show up in red. So you have this also to identify anything that's past due. Or if you want to rely on like the tickler, the dashboard, so that you see all these target dates and then who's responsible for them. If you see here on the top, as soon as I click completed, it updates the progress. So now it's 60% completed. I can click where it says share and I can select who do I want to share with. In this case, the employer and applicant, and they can go online, log in into the client portal, and they can see the progress that you've shared only when you share. So if you have shared the progress and they log in, this is what they see. They see the status percentage, they click on it, and they can see what's been done or what's at least started. Okay? You have the power to share or dismiss. It's really up to you. Let me know if you have any questions. So I've talked about Tickler. Let me show you what it is. On the left-hand side under Tools, if you click on Tickler, this is your general dashboard, which by the way, it can be customized. So if you go into on the right-hand side, settings, user preferences, you can find Tickler and you can modify the time frames, you can modify the bar, or you can remove. If I don't want to see everything, I just want to see the reminders, I can have my own version of the Tickler. Now, the tickler or general dashboard has the reminders, expiration dates, process steps. So this is why I was telling you to use the process steps, because on a daily basis, you can just, if you don't have reports, of course, you can just go and see, okay, in the next 5 days, I have 3 things to do: an invoice, review file, prepare DS-160. And it tells me the dates. Now, if I need to see everything and show the data for all caseworkers, I click here. Now it looks like in the next 5 days, we have 7 things to do. And I can just click on the case link and look at the process steps timeline. So that way I can see who's doing what or who's responsible for any of these tasks. See, Araceli is going to send the contract for this case on September 2nd. If I know Araceli is not going to be here, I can easily delegate and avoid missing any deadlines. I have a question, so I'm going to stop really quick. Hi there. This is a very basic question, but can you please help with this? Open up a new client, a new case, let's say adjustment of status, and then send the passport info to client, and then send the intake form to the client. Okay, really easy. So you want to click on create client contact. You want to create the contact, enter the information, and then hit create contact. Let me just quickly do it. So I'll just call it Julieta Venegas, and then female create. Of course, I probably did this, recently. One of my favorite singers. Okay, so you create a contact, right? And then it says new case. Okay, so I go to cases and I create a case. And I said, well, Julieta's here for an adjustment of status for the office here in California. It's a family base and process. So everything, like, you follow the steps. This is a case wizard, so I joke and say follow the yellow brick road. So I'm gonna select Julieta as the alien or the petitioner. If I don't have the information for Julieta's husband, for example, or the beneficiary, I can always click here, add new client. So you don't have to do it now. It could always be later. It's up to you. But you have the power to either search or create and then link the alien. So let's say that we have Carlos, the husband. I can select search for him, select the alien, and then next, I see all the forms. I create the case. And then your question was how to send the password info. If you click on the name of the person, it takes you to her contact profile, and on the right-hand side at the bottom, it's going to say client access. Well, the client access is where you create it. The login name is going to be Julieta V, and the password is going to be 1234, and I create. That's it. Of course, if you need to send them the password, then you click email credentials. Now, if Julieta prefers Spanish, I have a letter template already. I don't have to retype it. I can just say, send the credentials in Spanish, and it's going to say, querida Julieta, aquí le proporcionamos. So you can customize this. Do not change the password, leave it as is. And that's it. You email her the username, password, URL, and now that she has access to it, of course, I don't have an email address. Let's julietav@test.com. Once I send this email, she has access to her portal, but I haven't yet sent the intake forms. So that's when you go to create questionnaire. I'm going to say send it to Julieta, and give me 1 second. I didn't enter the email address. Email right here. We need to have an email address so the system can send. Oops, I was serenadetest.com. Okay, now that we have the email address, now I don't know what type of package your office has, but you could also send via text message. If Julieta prefers to just open a link instead of using a password, you can use the passwordless questionnaire. Okay, so if you click on create questionnaire, the option will be send it to Julieta, but instead of sending it to the client portal, you can send the passwordless link. It's up to you. When you click here, you're sending the questionnaire so that she logs in into the client portal. And then here I can pick adjustment of status and then select the type of questionnaire that I need her to complete. I'm just gonna send one, send the email. This is another email. I'm letting her know, hey Julieta, we have sent a questionnaire. Please log in. Now that she has access to log in. And that's it. You send her the questionnaires, and when she logs in into the portal, which is this, we said it was Julieta V 1234. When she logs in, she's going to click on her mailbox and open the questionnaire. So Julieta can actually see this in Spanish. She can enter data. Well, that's the idea, right? Let's just add a couple details, and then she's going to send it to you. When the client completes the questionnaire, you guys get a notification via email, or you can also click here and then you'll see the name of the person, the questionnaire you received, and you have to open and accept, otherwise the data is in the limbo, you know, so you have to click accept in order for that information to populate her profile. Let me show you. So now the contact profile has the correct data and it will transfer it. Now to answer your other question, where do we ask for a list of documents we want Julieta to upload? Remember I created a case. If I go to Julieta's account and I click on cases on the right hand side, I see the case here. So I can click on that or use a shortcut. Use the load more data button, go straight to documents, and then you see the checklist. I need 2 passports, I need birth certificate, so just not share, sorry. Just select and then share and say, I want Julieta to upload. Say next, email her. I mean, no, it doesn't hurt. Hey, Julieta, please log in into your portal. Or again, you can use a letter template and ask her, Julieta, this is your case number. Um, and we need these documents. So when you send that email and she's aware that she has to log in, when she logs in into the system, meaning the client portal, she's gonna she's gonna see the shared documents, the checklist. So whatever you share, it's right here. Your clients click on upload. They can even drag and drop multiple files at once. It's a win-win. So they just do this and upload, and then they'll tell you, oh, this is my diploma, or this is my copy of the passport. This is my I don't know, birth certificate, and they just upload. They get this green bar on top, tell them to just close the window, and it's right here. They can always just click and review. On your end, let's refresh. Those documents are also reflected here. In fact, you can see right away because it tells you the upload date. So that's how you can run a report and say, give me any documents that do not have an upload date and tell me which is the client or the case so that we can contact them. Sorry, your question had, it says, is it in the questionnaire or do we create? Well, you know what? If you guys want to use a custom questionnaire, especially the passwordless questionnaire, you can also send a request to upload documents. Some of the questionnaires that we have that button that you can add, or let me show you an existing one. So the question was if the questionnaires have the option for them to upload. Some of them do. See, this one says documents. So your clients can also click here to upload. The only difference is that if they upload from here, the document doesn't go to the case or the matter. It goes to the contact profile under others. So if they do upload a file via a questionnaire, make sure that you check the contact account and then use a clipboard to copy paste it. Can you go through the place in case to ask them to upload docs again? Yeah, of course. Um, just want you to see again. Okay, so what I did, let me close this. I went to, da-da-dum. I went to the case. Let me open it. In fact, let's use a shortcut. Load more data, documents, go to the case window, click on documents, and then you should see it here. So then select and then share. That's what I did. I created a custom intake form and linked to a case process. However, when I open that case process for the client, I don't see the custom intake form. Where do I find it within a client's case? Good question. Go to the contact, not the case. Go to the contact profile and click on alternate view. That custom questionnaire that you created is going to be here. And then you can use it or you can send it to them, whatever you prefer. But it's under the alternate view if you want to open it from the contact profile. Great questions. Thank you so much for interacting. All right, so I know we have an agenda, so let's go back to the PowerPoint. Um, you should see it now. All right, so we talked about how to share the process steps and what the tickler is. I'm going to show you a trick that's going to save you so much time. It's called how to copy a form or duplicate an entire case. Well, let's say that for Valeria, we've got these forms for, what is this, H1B? Let me use a different case. I think I'd rather use an adjustment of status. So I am more familiar with the process. All right, anyway, so I've got the contact profile. Let me go back to the case. What I was trying to show you is here, under the forms. If I need, oh, sorry about that. Give me 1 second. I picked the wrong case because I have done that exercise already on that one, so I can't use it. As you can see, I do that quite, okay, let's do this. Let's create a case. That way I can show you also the steps. I'm creating a case and all of these drop-down menus, remember, you can customize them from the admin portal. Also, make sure that you link the caseworker. For example, today I was asked a question, can I add an attorney's profile, but she's not tech savvy, she's not using the system, but we want the data to transfer? Yes, you just go to the admin portal, create a profile for the attorney, but do not create an account. Their data can still transfer to the forms. All right, so we're gonna create a family-based case for Valeria and her husband. For the husband, I select alien. I do not choose beneficiary. And for an employment-based case, select employer instead of petitioner. Here we go. Sorry about that, but now we are here. Anyway, so let me open the G28. This is what I wanted to show you. You're going to work on a form, okay? You're going to enter the data, let's say the G28. I'm going to type information. I make modifications. And this specific G28 is for Francisco. He's the applicant. So I select and save. Well, once you save and close the form, we suggest that you label them under description. So you click edit and then you can add your notes. Francisco's form, or you can even add notes like please call client regarding sticky notes on page 5, or like, you get the idea. Why I cannot type every time I do a webinar or training. Please call client and my initials. Anyway, so you can use that description to add labels and identify whose form this is. If you make a copy of the form under the actions button, it says copy. So you're going to duplicate the same form. Now I have another one. I'm going to use this copy to remove this and say this is going to be for Valeria and save. I only changed the description. Now I have to go inside the form. Because I made a copy or duplicate, it's right here. Everything that I worked on stays the same. I don't have to redo it again. But on page 2, where I see the alien info, I don't need Francisco's information anymore, the applicant. I'm going to switch to the petitioner. And that's when you click on the select button. Click select, choose petitioner, click OK. If you want to transfer someone else's data, like a derivative or anyone else, you just click select and then choose another party. But now this became Valeria's G28 with her data, but the rest of the form, I didn't have to redo it. So if you want to save time, if you have like a large case, like, a family of 5, just work on one of the forms, make as many copies as needed. So I can do it again. Let me select copy, replace. I'll say the son. This is the son's form. Save, open, go to the second page, replace with the select button, and this is going to be for the derivative. And I just click on select party, and I can replace with anyone I want. So the son is right here, Andrew, and I click on his name. And now this G28 became Andrew's form. Let me know if you have any questions about this. So what if you want to redo the work for the entire case, not just one form? So if you want to duplicate a case, let's talk about that H1B. I'm going to make a copy by clicking on select copy. And I'm going to say copy all forms, save, and now go under case parties again, and it's not for Valeria. So I'm going to unlink her. It's going to be the same corporation, but different applicant. So I'm going to link the other applicant. Let's search for him. Alien, link, and then I can choose the branch of the employer and the signatory. It's probably a different signatory. And then I go to forms. Anything that I did for Valeria is going to be here. So when I open the form, because I cloned the case, it still shows, well, now it shows the correct signatory. But on page 2, we're going to see all the sticky notes, everything that I worked on, but I don't want Valeria's information. I want Francisco's information. So you click on select party, replace, and click on his name. Now this becomes Francisco's I-129, but I don't have to redo the work, like the post-its or sticky notes or anything like type anywheres are there. So that's going to save you a lot of time. Again, practice, play with it. If you have questions, you can contact us, but at least you know what it's doable. It's available here for you. Okay. All right, so let's talk about the default letter templates. Today, I mentioned letter templates where you can add, for example, I'm gonna use these two, like cover letters, simply like, quick emails, questionnaire, anything for any matter. And these letter templates are going to save you so much time because it has the ability to auto-populate just like the forms as long as you have a tag. And these tags, they pull the information from the database and they populate. So if I show you the preview, now it shows the name of the person, which technically, you know what? It's not showing it because I didn't select under the case parties. Let me pick Francisco. There we go. Now Francisco's name appears. Anyway, so how do I select a letter template by default? For example, when sending a questionnaire, we want our letter template, not the default one, not the one that's in the system. So you're going to click on application settings from the administrator portal. On the right-hand side of the menu, you're going to click on default letter template, and then you're going to pick from here. These are the options that you have for when sending email credentials, for when sending a blank form, when sharing an actual form. You can select any of these templates that you have worked on. That way you don't have to choose that on a case-by-case basis. It's going to be by default. Okay? All right. So, and again, remember, I am sharing my PowerPoint presentation, and you can click on the links to learn more later or share with your team. Before we continue, let me ask you if you have any questions at this point. Okay, so I'm gonna close and continue because the majority of you say no thanks. Thank you for participating. Let's talk about how to create custom fields and map them to forms. All right, so you do need to have access to the administrator portal, and you click here, client custom fields. The example that I use is on the DS160 or DS260, there's a question that says, what's your full name in native alphabet? Well, we don't have that question here in the system. We have the typical name, phone number, date of birth, but we don't have a space where you can type full name in native alphabet. Well, that's when you create a custom field like this. It's a text field. The name of the field cannot contain spaces, so you can do underscore. And the question was, what's your full name in native alphabet? You can create custom fields for like drop-down menus, for dates, or like numbers, etc. As long as you create your custom field, then in order for the data to transfer to the form, you need to click on File, Form Custom Data Population. So that's where you're going to add the form, let's say DS160 or DS260 or any form. You want to open the form or select, and well, this has been already linked. That's why it's kind of like orangey, but let me delete it so you guys can see the difference. Okay, when you open the form, you're gonna see the fields. You need to click on the question that you wanna connect to your custom field. It's called mapping. Connecting, linking, mapping is the same thing. So you're gonna click and then click here where it says set custom data population for selected field. It's at the client level. It's a client custom field. It is this one, full name, native alphabet, and it belongs to the alien. So I just click OK. There's no save button. Just close the form. What happens is that you can create a questionnaire over here, custom form templates, and you can add your question to that questionnaire. For example, under intake forms, I've done that for the 160 or the DS260. And I asked a question like, what is your full name in native alphabet? Well, it's not just asking the question, but making sure that you map it here too. See, I went to full name, native alphabet, and it's linked to my custom field. So you have to select client custom field, and it's right here. It's been linked. In fact, I don't know if you know this, but you can make these questions required. They can't submit the questionnaire if they don't respond to these questions. You can even add translations. I want this DS-160 available in Japanese, or so you can review the questions and then submit. This is just a test. This is not the entire DS-160, but I want you to see this. Just the same way as you type information or your clients provide you with the information via the questionnaires. Well, when you send that intake form, they're going to respond to that question. What is your full name in native alphabet? As long as you have the data here in the field and you create the form, let's take a look at the DS-160. Here we go. Well, this is Francisco. Let me transfer Valeria's information. The information transfers from the profile, including the custom field. All right, so number one, go to the admin, create your custom field right here. Number two, go to File, Form Custom Data Population, and link it to the actual form. If you want to include that custom field in a questionnaire, great. If not, as long as you type it here where you see the custom field, then when you open the form, it will transfer to the actual form. Also keep in mind, of course, if there's a new version of a form, you are responsible to go back and remap your custom fields, okay? Next item. How much time we have? Okay. I want to cover as much as we can. So next item is case and client overview. Case overview is right here. It's a green button on the right-hand side. This is not customizable, but it gives you everything you need. What's the basic information for the case? Application, like who's the attorney, all the forms, letter templates, everything. You can print it if needed. Let me show you a different case. That one doesn't really have a lot of data that we can utilize. Here's a load more data button, and I can go straight to the case overview. Use a shortcut, it's great. Anyway, so here we see the timeline, kind of like the steps and the documents, and again, you can print it. Well, if you go to the contact profile, you also have a client overview. But the good news is that you can customize this one. If you click on your settings and then go to user preferences, go to client overview, and you can customize it here. See this one, I don't know why I have twice. I don't need two boxes for appointments. I do have like the reminders and the general info. I want to see the current addresses, logs, and so you can choose what you want to see. If I want to see, for example, passport information, I click, I select what I want to see. So passports, I don't care for the passport number. I just want to see the country and expiration dates and maybe the actual file. And apply, I save, and that's it. Now, if I go to the contact, let me open it. Now on the right hand side, again, I clicked on client overview and I see all those areas. The reminders, the current addresses, the I-94s, the appointments. I'm just dismissing because there's a lot of data. And here's the passport info. So if you want to see exactly what you want to see, this is it. The client overview. Again, this is going to save you so much time because you don't need to see everything for the client info, the general info. You pick and choose whatever it's important for you. And also, again, you can print it. Each of your paralegals can have a different setting for their own preference, for client overview. Next item on my list that is one of the efficient and time-saving tricks and shortcuts is the shipments. On the right-hand side, under general info, I'm at the case window, by the way, you are going to see shipments. This is where you can add, if you track a package from FedEx, UPS, the USPS, like you choose the courier, let's say UPS, and then this is a tracking number. I sent a package to USCIS and I sent it maybe a few weeks ago. And now, if I run a report or if I click on the tracking number, it takes me directly to the UPS website, so I don't have to type the tracking number every single time. So that is included in all, in your accounts. The other feature that we have, it's under Tools, and it's called Date Calculator. Here's where you can add the date. For example, today's date, we need to add 6 months from today. We want to exclude weekends or not. So now we know that we have to complete this renewal before March 1st, for example. Or you can also select, okay, when did you leave? I left on, I don't know, let's say, oops, let's say 2015 on January 16. And then we went, I'm trying to find like the best example, but bear with me. Let's say October. Okay, how many days was the trip? 134. So you can do this too and calculate the duration. That is under the tools called Date Calculator. Next one, I know there's a couple of questions I'm going to cover. Just give me one quick second. I'm almost done. The next one is called Case Status Update. Well, if you go to the case window, under the documents, click on notices, and you can add the receipt here. As long as you enter the information, you can track the status. Let me open a real receipt. Um, Documents, notices, right here. So when I click on the link for the receipt notice, I can see the status of that case. And I can also, it's taking a little longer than usual, but it's okay. If you are subscribed to Times Tracker, you get the notification when the case is eligible for processing. But anyways, for the status updates, you can also click on the link and you can see it both in English and Spanish, and you make a copy of it. So if you click copy to case logs, it will create a log with that status update, which you can then email, if I need to send this to the client so that they know the case has been approved, great. And lastly, we have a setting, two settings, let me show you, in admin. These are brand new, so maybe you're not aware of it. Go to your admin, click on application settings, and now you can select to auto convert any images that your clients upload, like JPEGs or GIFs. You can convert them automatically to PDFs if this is checked. And then the other thing is, if you scroll down over here in application settings, you can also enforce the formatting for social security number and for the phone. So when you type the numbers, it automatically enforces the format. Okay, what I'm gonna do right now is cover the resources and support. Yes, you will have questions though, but please contact us. We want to help you. So you can call us Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 Pacific Standard Time. That's our phone number. You can also email us, or you can click on your home screen where it says technical support. Send us your message or send us your feedback. We have a user's guide. We do these trainings for free on Fridays at 10 a.m. We even have a podcast and a Facebook forum page, as well as a YouTube channel, which please remember to subscribe if you haven't done it yet. These are some of the useful links that you can click on to learn more about these features like Timekeeper, how to translate the questionnaires, how to send a link for the clients to make a payment, how to import data from the CBP website, etc. You can also add appointment notifications for your calendar and more. Some of the questions that you guys submitted were, number one, can I change the steps in the middle of the process? Yes, the way you do it is if I'm working on the case and I realize, like, hey, you know what, this case doesn't have the correct process steps, or maybe I just want to insert a step in between, you can do this, edit a single, like add a single step or add a whole predefined list of steps. If you do that, you just choose the process type and then click add steps. Well, you can add a bunch of steps in the middle, right? So you don't have to do it one by one. Or if your question was, I want to change these steps for the I-485, but I'm in the middle of the process, you can also go to the admin, customize them by, by default under case processes, and then go to your general info, basic information, and you can update the process. In other words, for example, I did this I-485, I modified the process, maybe I changed the name or I added other steps. I want to update it. I can pick the process that I want to update, like the new process, and then instead of deleting what I had, I'm going to just add to what I have. Or I can just change the name. You have three options. Most of the time you choose the middle one because you want to add to what's already created. And that's it. So when you go to the process steps or the documents, everything is going to be added to that existing case. Let me take you back. So yes, you can do it. Next question was connecting clients with their own companies when both are involved in a petition. So yes, create a business client profile and just click on members. And when you go to the forms, you can select the party button to transfer the corresponding party. So just to give you a quick example, if I have, let's say Valeria, I have a case for her and I realize that it's not linked to the company. Well, I can just go to members, link the member, but create the contact for her company. So it's going to be Smith Lee, oops, Corp. It's a business client. I create the account and it's the employer. And I just link. Obviously, for that Smith Corporation, I would click on the name or the link so that I can add anything I need regarding the corporation, the business client, and then go to the case. So yes, you can connect the clients with their own companies. And when you get to the forms, you choose with that select party button whose information should transfer to the I-129. Next question was, how can we use the system to track potential leads? Well, you can use the prospect status. You can also use custom fields and custom reports to track all the necessary data, including the referral source, type of client, and more. You may also customize your log types. This is what I meant. Each of the accounts that you create have a status. This is the prospect status that I was talking about. So you can create a prospect account and then track your potential leads. But not only that, you can go to custom fields and create like questions. How did you hear about us? Is this the first time that you contact us? Are you tech savvy? Just get to know your clients more. What's the best way to contact you? Like all of these questions you create as a custom field. And when adding a log, the type of log can also say potential lead or consultation or prospect, or you can customize this. I don't know if I have one, but you get the idea. This can be customized from the admin portal. Next question, we're almost there. Can we easily edit a Word document such as an agreement? Well, yes, we integrate with Office 365 and your staff can edit documents simultaneously as well as use our tag helper and the document assembly. Let me read a couple of questions that you guys submitted. Let me make this bigger. If you have questions, this is a time for you to type your question and submit it. Trying to see which ones I haven't covered. So I talked about that. I don't want to take up your time on the advanced stuff, but I suspect others in this meeting are also just starting out like me. That's fine. This is your training. I went through and tried to request documents like you just did, and the email shows that we are sharing documents, not requesting. No, 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 you're fine. The thing is, when you are sharing the checklist, it could be because you have cases that have, for example, the contract copy. So technically, you use that also to share actual documents. No, you're fine. You didn't do anything wrong. This is why I was telling you that when you select and share with client, let's say I'm sharing with this person, that email, the default message, instead of using this one, because you don't want to say I am sharing documents, you can use the one that you create. For example, I'm requesting these documents. Go do this, blah, blah, blah. So no, you didn't do anything wrong. The reason why it says share is because you can technically have a file or an attachment that you are sharing with them. It's the same process. Next question says, I missed where the shipment is. It's at the case window under general info. It's right here, shipments. And then you can just click on the tracking number and it takes you to the corresponding website. Next question says, I went to the case and selected load more data and then selected documents and then emailed that to them. And the email says that I'm sharing documents with them. Yeah, I just clarified that one. Will all cases need to be updated if I update the process? Uh, What's up to you? For that, you can either call us for our developers to help you if that's the case, because yes, you would technically have to do it manually. If I go to the admin and I update the process with my checklist and steps, and then I go back to the caseworker and I had a case created, I do have to click on the basic general and update. But again, because we have an amazing development team, you can contact us for a professional service and you can tell us anything that I have under I-45, blah, blah, blah. I want it to be updated to the new process. So for an additional fee, of course, they're going to do it for you um, instead of doing it one by one. But you need to contact us for that, okay? Alrighty, let's go over the upcoming trainings. We have these trainings for September and October. But just so you know, if you are interested in registering for one of the sessions, also on our website, if you go to serenade.com/events, you can see those links right here. So you can click and register for any of these training sessions for both September and October. Let me go back and looks like we're almost done. Oh, you're very welcome. My pleasure. All right, so please connect with us. Honestly, we can't know. If you have questions, don't wait until it becomes a frustration. If you have a question, just reach out, ask. We're going to send you an email, maybe a quick video, or call you, and maybe we need to connect to your screen, but we want to connect with you. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel because we upload all these videos to the channel called Cerenade Academy. All right, well, thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend. And let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to stick around for a couple more minutes. Don't forget to respond to the survey. That helps us a lot. And then also let me know in this poll if your questions were addressed. And sorry if your head hurts. I probably gave you too much info. But again, it's being recorded. If you need a private training so that we can go at your own pace, we can provide you with a private training for $100 per hour. So thank you so much again for joining us today and have an amazing weekend. Oh, by the way, we're closed on Monday. Happy Labor Day. You're very welcome. My pleasure. Have a great long weekend. I hope you learned something new today. All right, so I'm going to disconnect. I don't see any questions coming through again. Have a great long weekend and stay safe. Bye bye.